Hello? I'm, H. Gray. Talbot said he'd buy the next round if I read this out. So, here goes. These guys are some real big shots. Peter Viviano, Willow, Michaela Jansen, Laura, Alexa Lynn, Kelly Harlan, Timothy O'Keefe, Yanira Reed, Alex Peltier, and I Have No Standards. They apparently get some extra rewards for being patrons, whatever that means. I'm also supposed to mention that if you want to help but are light on change, you can rate and review the show and tell your friends. Lastly, something scrawled about stay safe, stay sane. Links in the description. Description? What never mind. Hey, Talbot! Talbot! I did the thing! You said you were buying the next round.
Dark Papers Entertainment presents Season 2, Episode 7, Crescendo.
Ah, there you are. Why are you hiding in the barracks? Hold up. Is that a typewriter? You really lean hard into this whole noir detective thing you've got going on, huh?
What do you want, Graves?
You know. Place to call home, the husky named Hugo, a special someone. For now, I'll settle for knowing how exactly you got a typewriter.
I know a guy.
Hey, I'm not trying to complain. Hell, if anything, they treat us well. You see the common area? Shared living spaces aside, we aren't sparse on comfort items.
Your point?
I got two. First, you should take some time to enjoy them.
I do. Their bar is phenomenal.
Second, despite all this, there isn't really a way to request things. If you know a guy, hook me up, man.
Got something in mind?
In mind? Bruh, I got a list.
Text it to me later. I'll see what I can do.
So, what are you writing? Love letter? Fan fiction?
Hold on. Just my account of our last case.
Why? I already turned in the report last week. Wait, when did you get the typewriter?
What? Why does that even matter?
You got it today, didn't you? Look, man, no need to be embarrassed. You got a new toy and wanted to try it out. Been there. Back in the day, I called off work all the time to play my new video games the day they dropped.
Back in the day, huh? I didn't realize they offered jobs to toddlers.
Oh, huh. Seriously, though, report's already in.
I'm not submitting it. That's not the point.
All right, I'll bite. What is the point, then?
The reports they have us write are little more than a fill-in-the-blank form.
It's for efficiency, isn't it? With how many field agents we have, I'm sure the captain doesn't want to read a bunch of bad grammar and unnecessary details.
Uh-huh. You know what else is lost that way? A little thing called context. Think back, Graves. Was there anything off about the last case? Anything that just couldn't fit into a standardized form?
Yeah, maybe a few things. Does it matter, though?
Perspective is everything. It'll set you apart from the other agents just following orders. Always make sure to take a step back and take in the whole picture, just as much as you need to look at the details.
Can I read it? I was serious when I said I wanted to learn from you. The more I do this job, the more I see why we have so many field agents. I don't want to end up as just another body on the front lines.
Have at it. When you're done, find me. Something tells me you'll have questions. Bring the report with you.
Yeah, of course. Where can I find you after?
Where do you think a noir detective would be?
The bar.
The bar.
Okay, let's see. Oh God, he titled it? You are so weird. Crescendo. The field agent department, or ground branch, sits apart from the others. It's run more akin to paramilitary specialists than an investigator group.
Which is what we're supposed to be. At least that's what the paperwork says. Investigating is more often just an afterthought to the missions, which boil down to either bag and tag or terminations. What Clear Minds does to the captured, I have no idea. A part of me doesn't really want to know. The department is organized simply, but effectively. The entire operation is overseen by the captain. Never met him. And none of the guys that would talk to me ever even caught a glimpse of him. Below him are desk jockeys that call themselves operations. Some of them are experienced field agents with years behind them, and the rest are transfers from other departments. In either case, all of them have military experience or have worked in the private sector. All of them specialized in putting ops together. These guys pass orders down from the captain to the rest of us, as well as handle communications and sit reps. After them, you have the special response teams, only called in for big problems. They're close-knit operatives that are highly trained against subjects. You'll see them around here and there. Out of everyone at Clear Minds, I think they're the only ones that display the "we are a family" value that the company pushes so hard. Each assault team has a specialty. Spirits, the occult, time paradoxes, so on. They're called in when shit really hits the fan, and you need to wipe the slate clean with 0 witnesses. Below them, you have the general field agents. These are your run-of-the-mill soldier. They handle everything from security to backup. This is where most people in the department settle. Some aspire to eventually be an SRT or an operations. Others hope to get put on monitor duty here at HQ and coast while collecting a sizable paycheck. Lastly, on the lowest rung, you have your investigators. Always a pair of agents. Investigators are sent to scout potential supernatural occurrences or subjects. If they can, they are expected to deal with the issues in the field. From what I've gathered, though, they are often used as cannon fodder to test the waters. That said, a few have made a career out of it, and rejected promotions. I get the appeal. Being the first on the ground, the thrill of the hunt, and not to mention the creative freedom. General field agents and SRTs have strict orders that don't leave a lot of room for peaceful resolutions. To some, this is an even trade. The flip side is investigators have the least amount of freedom at HQ, and most of the place is beyond their clearance level, and access to any information is bounced back and denied. As far as the company is concerned, it's not worth the potential leak. Makes sense. They do have the highest AWOL numbers, even if you take into consideration how many simply end up as victims and are never seen again. Truth be told, I'm sure they don't get very far. I wouldn't be surprised if there's an SRT dedicated specifically to retire runners. I should also mention that there are rumors. Boogeymen, more like it. Whispers have it that there is one more branch to this department. A group held on standby and hid in the shadows, simply known as B-Team. They're supposed to make everyone else look like new recruits fresh out of basic. They don't report to the captain, and instead they follow orders of someone way up the Clear Minds food chain. Probably just a story made to keep everyone in line, including the captain. Still, worth making note of. This company, this department, uses organization as a mask. It hides its chaos and danger behind paperwork and systems that are meant to keep you safe. The truth is, the dark tides of the unknown can't be placed in a box and labeled. A fancy job title doesn't mean jack when you're staring down the barrel of a gun or into the hungry eyes of a creature dreamt up by a nightmare. These bland and repeated hallways twist from recognizable comfort when you know behind every corner is just another monster, or worse, another corpse that hasn't stopped walking yet. Which brings me to this case, and a building that would find its home in the city. Ontario, Canada. A sleepy, bland-looking apartment building. A missing girl and a song. Graves and I spent the day to settle and then started gathering information, posing as CSIS. This job didn't seem like a false operation like Megan. The town was well known and you could point to it on a map. The local law enforcement were grasping at straws. The parents were normal, well, as normal as they could be, considering the circumstances. Jamie Brown, age 14. Last seen leaving home to meet up with a few friends to grab a movie. She never made it. After pressing her friends a little bit, one of them spilled the beans. Jamie befriended a new kid at school, Oscar. Loner type, quiet, reserved, interested in band. Complete opposite to Jamie. Outgoing, popular, good grades. The two fell madly in love, according to her best friend. At first, Jamie and Oscar hid their relationship out of fear. Her parents, although giving her plenty of freedom, banned her from making friends of the opposite sex, let alone from having a boyfriend. Being young and seeing the world through dramatic lenses, Jamie and Oscar had a plan. The day she went missing, she told her parents she was going to the movies. In truth, she was going to see Oscar. The pair would meet up at his place and run off together. Oscar had told her his family owns a cabin further up north where they could hide and start a new life. The only person she told all of this to was the best friend. She never thought the two would actually follow through. Never mind the holes in their plan, the cabin would be one of the first places they would look. Neither of them had jobs or a car. Teenage fantasy. I'm sure that they thought they had it all figured out. The best friend reasoned that they were still at the cabin. She only kept the information from the police to buy them time for them to come to their senses. It was only when the CSIS got involved did she rethink keeping this to herself. Graves and I both silently agreed that the cabin was our strongest lead, but before that, we had to cover our bases. The apartment building. The place Jamie and Oscar set their rendezvous. At the time, we thought it was a pit stop in the case. We were wrong. From the outside, the complex was unassuming. A quick glance revealed that the building had about 13 floors.
This is the address. Not sure what I expected, but it wasn't, this.
The location isn't what I'm worried about.
Fair. It looks more like one of those apartment buildings for seniors. I'm not sure how to explain it, it just gives off that vibe.
Yeah, I can see it. Oscar. Something's bothering me. Jamie is missing, sure. But what about Oscar? Shouldn't we have heard something about him?
Not the mission. For all we know, the local cops have a missing persons out on him as well. Not like we asked.
Let's not underestimate the local law enforcement. Don't you think they would have mentioned that Jamie went missing around the same time as this Oscar kid? No, I don't think they even know about him.
Estranged parents, maybe? Could be away on business. Maybe they don't know.
Hard to say. Could be drugs, or just neglect. This place doesn't give off the feeling that the parents are very well off. Also, so far I'm not sure why Clear Minds is interested in this. Don't get me wrong. Since we're already here, I'm glad to help. But missing kids don't seem like their purview.
One way to find out. After you.
The lobby was no more impressive on the inside. An unmanned front desk greeted us upon entry. A dull yellow light washed the cream-colored walls in an attempt to hide the chipped and worn paint. The carpet was charcoal gray, and it looked coarse, just as old as the building. A single person sat in a small waiting area off to the side, an old woman in a faded flannel pattern dress. She remained still. The only sign of life was her empty gaze following us as we approached the counter.
Hello? Hello?
CSIS, we have a few questions.
What do you think? Potty break? Lunch break?
Maybe.
Hey, excuse me. Do you know when they'll be back? Ma'am?
I don't like this.
Yeah. Should we pull back? Do a little bit more research?
Time is crucial for a missing persons case, but yeah, going in half-cocked is a great way to end up in a box. You, good there, Graves?
It's locked.
It's probably just stuck. This place is pretty old. Here, let me...
I'm telling you, it's locked.
Hold on. Almost got it.
You're not gonna get it.
Just got it. Graves, it's locked.
Told ya.
Can you pick it?
Yeah, I could if I had lockpicks, which are in the car.
Anything else you can use?
I mean, look at it. It's not a simple front door lock. Bobby pins or whatever aren't gonna... Wait, hold on. Why is the keyhole on the inside? It doesn't make any sense.
Yep, alright, not dealing with this.
Whoa, hold on! What are you doing?
Not taking any chances. This place is ringing all the warning bells, Graves. The door is mostly made of glass. The building, or someone, clearly wants us inside.
Okay, wait. Ma'am? Ma'am, I need you to cover your ears, okay? Ma'am? Or you can just keep staring at me blankly. That's cool too, and totally not unnerving.
If I had to guess, the old gal is either part of whatever this is, a victim, or as real as the furniture. Just leave her for now.
All right, fine. Go ahead.
Well, shit.
The glass is fine. Not even a scratch on the lock.
Yeah, no kidding. I can see that.
Want me to give it a try? I mean, at your age, it's normal to be shooting blanks.
Not the time, Graves. I think we're in some serious shit.
I know. Sorry. Jokes are just how I keep it together, man. What do you want us to do?
Well, obviously, we panic.
Oh, real helpful there, H. Gray.
Or we do what we came here for. If we can't get out, chances are neither could Jamie or Oscar.
Good point. Something tells me we won't be able to damage or open any windows either.
Probably not. For now, the priority is the kids. Check behind the desk. I'll see what's up with old Starry over there.
Got it. Did we get Oscar's last name? The apartment's probably under his parents.
Kuhr.
Right, Kuhr.
Spelled Kuhar.
Got it.
The old woman didn't react as I moved closer, aside from her following stare. I kept my sidearm at the ready. Her clothes were covered in a layer of dust. A cane rested beside her. It was as if she hadn't moved in some time. Kneeling down, I inspected more closely. She wasn't part of the furniture. Traces of dried blood were evident on her shriveled and cracked lips. It seemed to have seeped from her wounds. Slowly, I reached forward with one hand and tightened the grip on my weapon with the other. A pulse. Slow and barely there, but she was alive. The woman's eyes only had a flicker of life left behind them, though. Her attention was somewhere far and distant.
Couldn't find any details about which apartment belongs to who.
So a dead end.
Let me finish. What I did find was spare keys to each apartment, and more importantly, mailbox keys.
Which would be labeled by apartment. And with any luck, we might find a bill or something with a name on it.
That's what I thought. What about her?
Still alive. Not hostile, at least not yet. She's been here a while, long enough to collect dust. She's, in some sort of trance or something similar. I'm not sure yet.
Should we just leave her here like that?
Might be for the best. If she was in danger, something would have happened already. Plus, who knows what would happen if we move her.
Yeah, okay. Mailboxes. I think I saw them over there when we came in.
Right. For a few minutes, Graves opened box by box and went through whatever was inside. I stood watch. He was only about halfway through when I had a hunch. Any of those have a date?
No, not on the outside.
Then open them up.
And commit a felony? I would never. All right, I was only joking. Put away the grumpy face. Let's see. This one's from a few months ago. Bank statement. Ooh, Todd was not doing well. Sorry, buddy.
What's the most recent one?
Hard to tell. Most of these are just ads or not dated. Looks like 8 days ago, though. What are you thinking?
Might be nothing. Check the next box. Let me know what the most recent date is. Graves did as I asked. It took a few more boxes before he found the Coor family.
Found it. Judging by these letters, we have Mary and John Coor.
Most recent date?
Hold on. Looks like 6 days ago? You gonna tell me what this is about?
All the mail suddenly stopped anywhere between 9 and 6 days ago. When did Jamie go missing?
5 days ago.
Bingo. If we assume that all the mail just stopped 6 days ago, and the other residents just had ads or undated mail up till that point, then that means that Jamie and Oscar's disappearance correlates with whatever's happening here.
Okay, but what does that mean?
That we were let in. Whatever or whoever is doing this chose to keep the mailmen away, but allowed us to enter.
Implying intelligence.
Or a feeding cycle of 5 days.
Ooh, not liking the idea of that one.
We should get going. What room are the Coors in?
1104, so the 11th floor? Do we take the elevator? We would be boxed in. We could take the stairs. It'll take longer, but depending on the stairwell, it's also not a great place to have a firefight.
Stairs. If we run into trouble, we can always back into another floor. As Graves guessed, we were at a disadvantage. The stairs were made of thick metal. Not only did our feet echo loudly as we ascended, but there was always the off chance of a ricochet. The stairs themselves climbed at an incredibly steep angle. However, the passage was wide with too much open space and not enough cover. Good for us if the threat came from below, but if it came from above, fish in a barrel. We passed the 6th floor and rounded a corner. A man, tall and lanky, stood above us on the next platform. His back faced towards us, and in that still moment my ears strained to hear a faint sound, a rhythmic muttering, barely audible. Despite the fact that there was zero chance this man didn't hear us climb the stairs, there was this fragile tension in the air that forced Graves and I to whisper.
Victim or hostile?
Dunno. Cover me. Hey, pal. Maybe you shouldn't stand in the center or so close to the edge. Worth a shot. As I drew closer, a smell assaulted me. The smell of rot and something spoiled. What produced it, I couldn't see. I moved closer. He wore sweatpants and a t-shirt. He was dressed for comfort. A sheet of dust rested on his shoulders and hair. I was only a few steps away. A thin piece of plastic was clutched in his hand. It was stretched as if something heavy was tied on the other end. The stench grew stronger. I was behind him. A sense of relief washed over me. The smell was seeping through a garbage bag that the man was holding. The angle of the stairs hid it from view. With a slow hand, I checked his pulse. alive. Inspecting the trash with a glance, I noticed another odd detail. Flies. Expected, I know, but these flies all rested on the bag. Not a single one buzzed in the air. What's more, they didn't move at all. They weren't dead. It was like they just stopped in their tracks. As I tried to put the pieces together, my ears picked up on that muttering again. There was this melody, or maybe a beat to it that was familiar somehow. I struggled to make out what the words were. A hand touched my shoulder, and I spun around, shoving whatever it was away from me before leveling my weapon. I watched as Graves tumbled down the flight of stairs, catching himself about halfway down.
Oh, what the fuck, H.
Graves? Shit. You good?
I think so. Jesus, dude, what the hell?
You shouldn't sneak up on me like that. I thought you were some damn creature or something. You could have seriously gotten hurt.
Oh, you think? Also, I didn't sneak up on you. I called out several times.
You did? I didn't hear
I
you.
literally told you like 5 times. Practically shouted the last one.
I don't remember that. Seriously, Graves, I don't.
Oh, yeah, sure. Blame the supernatural event. Very classy. Oh. What's up with that guy anyway?
Let's get out of the stairwell first. I don't think it's safe here.
Yeah, good idea. There is a maniac in here pushing people down the stairs.
We backtracked to floor 6, and only after we established the area was clear did we relax a bit.
So, the guy?
If I had to guess, he was on his way down to take out the trash. Something caught his attention, and when he turned to look, that something happened to him. The same something that happened to the old lady in the lobby. She probably came down to wait on the mail or just get out of the apartment and people watch. Somehow, these people are being forced to just stop. Not just the people either. The flies as well. They were completely stationary.
5 days without food or water? How is that even possible? The average person can only live 3 days without water.
Under normal circumstances, sure. But this ain't normal, kid.
Yeah, no shit. What about the dust, though? Is 5 days enough time to collect that much?
No idea. I've never stayed completely still for 5 days straight. There is one other thing. The guy on the stairs, he was muttering or maybe singing. I couldn't make it out. But I was trying to when I lost track of time.
When you push me, you mean?
It was before the push. Not the point. We should steer clear from anyone else we see. If you hadn't interrupted me, who knows how much time I would have lost.
Around 5 days, do you think?
Yeah, that's my theory too. So here's the plan. Avoid listening to anyone we see. Plug our ears if we have to. Actually, earplugs might be a must, because we have to find the source and neutralize it. My gut's telling me we'll find it in 1104. The problem is getting past the guy on the stairs. Getting close is an issue. Also, I'm still worried about moving these people. Aside from accidentally hurting them, we have no idea what other things could happen from a supernatural angle. Got it. Okay, so we find an empty apartment. Make some earplugs from some cloth in there. Then we make it to a balcony. If we're lucky, we can find a rope. If we can fashion the rope into a grappling hook, we can scale upward
Whoa, slow your roll, Mr. SEAL Team 6. Let's just check the other stairwell first.
I'm sorry, the what now?
It's the law. In Canada, all buildings with more than 2 stories have to have at least 2 staircases. And they're usually on opposite sides of the building.
That's good.
The city doesn't have that law, I take it?
No, why would it? It only makes sense and makes things a whole lot safer. Let's just get moving. We made our way down the hallway. If not for the singular path, it would have been easy to get lost. The walls, the carpet, the fixtures, all of them identical. The first few rooms we checked inside. The second we spotted another person, we left. As I feared, the entire building was in a state of suspension. Families that were in the middle of eating. A woman sitting on her couch with remote in hand. A man scrolling through a dead phone while mid-walk. All of them were the same. In a near-dead state with cracked and dried skin. Dust covered them, and their eyes were trained elsewhere. The moment we came into their view, brief as it was, their heads swiveled to follow our movements. Each of them muttered low, the same unrecognizable tune from the man on the stairs. Eventually, we found an empty room, and using some bits of cloth, plugged our ears. From there, we made our way through the hallway, and it wasn't long before we put them to the test. Lining the space were open doors. Motionless bodies peeked out of them. We moved slow, but with an unease that could force us into a sprint should we need to. It wasn't long after that we found the stairs. With each floor we climbed, subtly we noticed an unsettling fact. The muttering was not only piercing our homemade earplugs, but it was steadily growing louder. We reached the 11th floor. My eyes met Graves, and he motioned to my pocket. Not a bad idea. I plunged my hand inside and retrieved the flask. While offering him a swig, I noticed him rolling his eyes before retrieving his phone, and he made exaggerated motions to it. I reached into my other pocket and extracted mine. I had one new message from Graves.
What's the plan?
I responded. First, our main priority is the kids. But if they are in whatever state everyone else is in, we need to end whatever is causing this first.
Yeah, I know. I mean about the sounds or whatever. It's already hard enough to block it out and ignore it. The closer we get, these plugs aren't going to do us any good.
I thought for a long moment as Graves just stared at me. With a shrug, I opened an app on my phone and hit play. Cancel it out. It's not like we have the element of surprise here.
And fall asleep at the same time? We'll use my playlist.
With a sigh and a nod, I paused my music and let him play his. We pressed on. The music was a good idea. Well, maybe not his music, but music. Despite no one in sight, the muttering was barely covered by the noise. Room 1104. We shared one last look before opening the door. Almost immediately, we were enveloped by a thick cloud of dust that rushed out into the hall. Out of reflex, I covered my face and shut my eyes. Graves did not respond as quickly. When the dust settled, he was left looking upward. His eyes were blank and his mouth moved silently. I wanted to shout, but I caught myself. It was the dust. The gears began to turn slowly as it all fell into place. Well, most of it anyway. All the tenants' attention were focused elsewhere, where they were distracted by something. If I was a normal person and dust began to rain down, my instinct wouldn't be to protect myself. It would be curiosity. It was then that I wondered, was that what happened to me in the stairwell? When I lost time? I wasn't sure where the muttering fit in. I moved to Graves and shook him. No response. Out of desperation, I tore his shirt and covered his face and eyes. Still, nothing. I knew then that whatever was happening to Graves, I couldn't interrupt. Too close to the source. If I was going to save him, I'd have to put an end to whatever was causing this. I retrieved his phone. I moved inside the apartment. As soon as I did, it became silent. All except for the music blaring from the phone. The background muttering fell into nothing. Seeing no cause for it, I switched it off. On the surface, it was pretty standard. A semi-open floor plan, pictures on the wall of a loving family. A mother, a father, a son. A closer look revealed some odd observations. First, the place looked like a picture ripped from a modern design magazine. Expensive-looking furniture and all wood flooring. The pictures themselves were too perfect, almost like stock photos. Lastly was the abundance of feather dusters, brooms, and other cleaning supplies that took home in nearly every corner on every shelf. Tucked away to not be apparent, but always within reach. This place was cleaned frequently. I explored the apartment. The master bedroom would be spotless if not for the dust clinging to every surface. And much like the main room, a facade. On the outside, it was typical. However, there were no clothes in any dresser, no dresses hung in the closet. The bathroom and kitchen, too. Empty and bare, aside from a single toothbrush and toiletries for one. I stood outside the last room. Oscar's room. I positioned myself along the wall. Okay. Another cloud of dust sprang from the room. I let it settle, and then I entered. His room itself was simple. A single bed, a single dresser, nothing else. All except for 2 suitcases. One a girly pink and the other a deep blue. Both rested on the foot of the bed, open. My eyes fixated further up, however. Resting in a sitting position was Jamie. What was left of her anyway? Her body was slouched forward. Her bright-colored clothing was in tatters and faded. Nothing of her existed from the waist down. Just collapsed cloth and an imprint on the bed. I could see just under her rib cage, just below her crop top where the grayish skin fell in flecks before gently rising into the air. Dust. We often forget what it really is. A fact we push from our minds when we wipe down a table. Most of the dust we encounter is us. Dead human skin flaking off hundreds of billions of cells an hour. Resting atop her head was a pair of old headphones connected to the relic that was a Walkman. I didn't know Jamie, but even I could tell that they weren't her style. Oscar, on the other hand, her eyes followed my movements, somehow against all logic. She was alive. It was never about saving her. Jamie was missing for too long. I'd hoped, wished that I could. But I knew the odds. Still, seeing her in this state was heartbreaking. And knowing what I had to do next ground the shattered pieces into a finer dust that hung in the air. I'm sorry. Silence hung in the room longer than the dust, even after her body crumbled into nothing. The headphones plopped unceremoniously onto the bed. Eventually, I made my way to the Walkman and pressed the stop button. What followed was a confused Graves as he came to. Dozens of collapsed bodies suffering from dehydration, early starvation, and whatever else came from not moving for 5 days. A call to the police later, and they began the long process of moving bodies from the complex. Most of them died on the way. The rest passed in the hospital. Once back to the hotel, I called HQ to give them an update. Walkman is secure.
And what about the boy?
In the wind. My theory is that the kid has some sort of ability tied to music. My hope is that he's just scared and hiding out. My gut tells me this is more malevolent. I think this was a test. I think everything was a lie. His family, his love for Jamie, all of it. Whoever he is, he has resources. Faking documents to get into school, getting an apartment. Not likely for a 14 or 15-year-old.
You have history with a subject that can turn people to ash, correct?
This isn't Donahue's style. He's good, but he's not pass for a schoolboy good. The dust created from Jamie stopped people cold. Bet my last dollar that what they were muttering was whatever was on the Walkman. No, music is the key here. Can't be sure, though. Permission to pursue Donahue? There still could be a connection.
Head back to HQ. We'll get Oscar another day. Good work.
It just ends right there. Not even a poetic ending remark. And then again, I did interrupt him. Alright, so... Hold on, I was there for that conversation. H. Gray had it on speakerphone for whatever reason. Here in his report, he capitalized Oscar. But why? Operations didn't say it with more emphasis, or... Oh... Damn it, he was right. I do have questions. All right, time to return this to him.
I see. And you...
Oh, hey, H. Gray. So, what was with... Oh, sorry. Didn't realize you had a drinking buddy. I can wait. Name's Peter Graves.
It's fine. He was just leaving.
Right. I have a big day ahead of me tomorrow. Nice to meet you. H. Gray, be careful.
Mm-hmm. You read the whole thing?
I did, and I have a few questions.
Before that, can I get you a drink?
No, I'm sober, remember?
Oh, still?
So, most of my questions are just hows and whys. Trying to learn from how you tackle cases and whatnot.
However,
Oscar.
caught that, did you?
Don't be so smug. You capitalized it.
And why do you think I did that?
Besides draw attention to it, I was there. The whole call. Heard both sides from start to finish. You did tell operations every step of the case, except you never mentioned Oscar. Not once. You referred to him as the boy or the kid. So how? How did operations know?
Unless they knew from the start.
Yeah, but I'm sure they had their reasons, right? I mean, compartmentalizing information is just smart. Isn't it?
Maybe. But we were the ones heading into the field. Knowing Oscar was the target, the mission, knowing that would have been helpful. More than that, it would have been safer.
Megan, Oscar, it's almost like... No, but why?
Full sentences, Graves.
It's like they're intentionally putting us in unnecessary danger. Like they want to get us killed.
Not us. Me. Still want to be my partner?
You? Why? I mean, no offense or anything, but what's so special about you? I mean, don't get me wrong. You hands down have a shit ton of experience. You worked under or with Gavin Olin. Everybody knows how great of an asset he is.
He has a lot of political power around here, too. The kind of power that can shut down entire departments.
That's insane. You're insane. We have standing orders to rescue him if we see him in the field. Their entire team's dedicated to that very purpose.
Rescue. There are only two types of missions here, Graves.
Yeah, tag and bag, and... Oh, okay. Even if you're right and they want to take you out, I get that it would be easier if you died in action. Hell, I even get why I would be an acceptable loss. But again, why?
Sorry. That's all I can tell you for now.
What? Dude, I get that you like being dramatic, but seriously?
Look, I've already stuck my neck out by telling you all this. If you're serious, I need to know you have my back.
You don't even have to ask.
If I let you in on this, I have to know that I can trust you. I'm not gonna lie, you'll be in some serious shit. It's only a matter of time before they switch from trying to get me killed and just take me out behind the shed. Right now, you're safe from that, kid. You could walk away, request a transfer.
Whew. Fuck.
So what do you say about that drink now?
I say no. To the drink. The other shit? I don't know, man. You know what? Screw it. I've come this far, and I believe in what Clear Minds is trying to do. If some asshole's going for a coup, I say fuck 'em. What's the plan?
Showrunners for this episode were Christopher George and Dalton Lewis. This episode was written by Christopher George. Script editing was done by Dalton Lewis. Sound design was done by Christopher George. H. Gray was voiced by Michael Williams. Peter Graves was voiced by Alex Peltier. Operations was voiced by Peter O'Keefe. Mutterings were voiced by Christopher George, Peter O'Keefe, and Ali Ford. Original music by Nico from the Inky Paw Print.